So today we're just going to go over how your IPERS is calculated, the different options when you get ready to retire, if you were to go back to work after you retire, service purchase, if you want to purchase more quarters of service to increase your monthly benefit, and my account. So a lot of good information today. IPERS is the largest public retirement system in the state of Iowa. We have a trust fund of over $40 billion, and it is a defined benefit plan. Now, a defined benefit plan means that your benefit is based on a formula, not on the contributions that you make into the system. The formula to calculate your monthly benefit, and I believe all of us are from Cedar Rapids CSD, correct? So for all of us, the multiplier would be your highest 5 years of salary, and then we look at your years of service for your multiplier, and then we look at your age to see whether or not you met normal retirement age. Now, we get a lot of questions on what is the difference between a defined benefit and a defined contribution plan. Your defined benefit plan is going to be your IPERS. Defined contribution plan would be your 401ks, IRAs, 457Bs. Are we good? Okay. Some of the big differences between the two is under IPERS, you cannot borrow against your IPERS. The only way to access your IPERS funds is if you terminate all IPERS employment. We do offer disability benefits. So if you are a vested member and you're deemed disabled, you would be able if you're deemed disabled through Social Security, then you would also be eligible for an IPERS disability benefit, okay? Now, we do have different membership groups. I believe all of us tonight are all regular class members. We do have special service members, which would include the protection occupation and the sheriff deputy. Now, if you have a combination of both regular class and special service, you would be deemed a hybrid. Now, your contributions are based on your gross wages. IPERS can adjust that contribution rate up or down by 1 percentage point based on an actuarial valuation. Now, currently for regular class members, we all pay in 6.29% of our wages, and our employer matches that with a 9.44% contribution rate. Protection occupation and sheriff deputies have a little bit different of a contribution rate. Now, to become vested, for regular class members, you must have 7 years of reported wages or 28 quarters of IPERS service, or if you attain age 65 and you have wages reported after you attain age 65, then you would be vested by age. Now, what vesting does is once you are vested, you are entitled to a monthly benefit or a disability benefit. You're entitled to a portion of the employer's share if you were to take a refund. And you must be vested in order to do a service purchase. Excuse me, I'm getting a frog in my throat, and with the microphones, it's going to amplify. Now, for your multiplier, your years of service determines your percentage that you're going to get. So for years 1 through 30, you earn 2% per year. Years 31 through 35, you earn 1% per year. So the maximum you could get is 65% if you have 35 or more years of service. So for example, if you had 20 years of service, you would get 40% of the average of your high five. Thank you. If you had 30 years of service, you would get 60% of the average of your high five. And if you had 35 or more years of service, you would be maxed out getting 65% of the average of your high five. Now, how your age comes into play is normal retirement age is 65. Now, you can retire as early as 55, but if you retire early and you do not meet normal retirement age, you have an age reduction. There are two ways of meeting normal retirement age before age 65. One of those is the rule of 88. That would be your age plus your years of service. So if you're 55 and you have 33 years of service, you could retire at 55 without having an age reduction. The other rule is 62-20. That would be age 62 with 20 or more years of service. If you meet that rule at that time, you could retire without having an age reduction. Excuse me. Let's say you were 55, so sorry, and you only had 30 years of service. You would only be at 85. You can still retire, but you're going to have an age reduction. Your pension will be reduced because you did not meet normal retirement age. Now, if you retire before you have normal retirement age, for all of your time up through July of 2012, it is a 3% reduction per year until you reached your first rule. For all of your time, June 30th, 2012 and forward, it is a 6% reduction per year until you reach age 65. So you'll see that the age reduction significantly changed in 2012. What I would say is if you do not know when you meet normal retirement age, give our office a quick call. We can look at your record and find out, when do I hit my first rule, okay? We can determine that for you and help you. Now, purchasing service. We do have some people that are interested in purchasing more quarters of service to increase their monthly benefit. You could qualify for free service if you ever had a leave of absence prior to 1998, if you ever had military duty while you're in IPERS covered employment, or if you have FMLA up to 12 weeks per year. For service purchase, there are different types of service purchases that you can do. Everyone is qualified for non-qualified service, so that would be 5 years. Every IPERS member that is vested is eligible to buy up to 5 years of service. If you ever took a refund of IPERS time, if you have other public employment that you're not eligible for a pension, if you have active duty military that you're not eligible for free credit, then you could purchase on top of the 5 years. Now, purchasing only takes place at the time of retirement. In the meantime, you can get a service purchase estimate, and we can calculate out, okay, if you retired at 56, how many quarters you could buy, what it will cost you per quarter, how much it will increase your monthly benefit. Some people want to find out early on because they want to start throwing money into their 401k or their IRA. Then when it comes time for them to retire, they would, I am so sorry, they would have that money set aside in order to do a direct rollover, and there would be no tax consequences to that. I will tell you all now, if you are thinking of, well, I want to buy more years of service to get to my rule of 88 because I want to retire early, you're not going to do it. It's very expensive when you're trying to buy to one of your rules. If you've already attained your rule and you're just wanting to buy more years of service on top of that, then that's not going to be such a high cost. But if you haven't met your rule and you're just trying to buy up to your rule, it's going to probably be an exponential cost that you're not going to do. Generally, on all service purchases, it takes 10 to 12 years to recoup your money, okay? But I'll give you an example. I hit my rule of 88 when I'm 55 and 2 months. Okay, so I got to work 2 months longer to get that extra quarter. If I went out at 55, it cut my pension in half. That's how much the age reduction is. If I went to buy that 1 quarter that I need to get to my 88, it would cost me $240,000 on mine. Okay? So that's why I tell you, if you're wanting to buy to get to your 88, please just plan on working it, okay? It's very expensive. But we do see people that do service purchases. I'll give you an example, I'm one. I would be 55 with 33 years of service. I'll have my 88, so I could say, you know what, I want to see what it will cost me to buy those extra 2 years to max out at that 65%. Again, it's about 10 to 12 years to recoup it, but it's not going to cost me no $240,000, okay? So, but you can find out what it would cost you at any time. You don't have to wait until you retire to find out approximately what it will cost you. But you would have to wait until retirement in order to do the purchase. Retirement estimates. Every March, April, you get an annual statement. Your annual statement is assuming that you're getting a 3.25% wage increase every year. Some of us are not getting that. Okay? So you could either call our office or you can get onto your My account and run your own estimates. We can run them, and you might call in and say, Kim, I'm only going to get a 2%. And generally that's what we will run them as a 2%. We like to be a little bit more conservative when we're running estimates in-house. You could say, Kim, I'm at a wage freeze. I want you to estimate a 0% increase. Or you might have a situation where you say, Kim, I want to work 2 more years. What would it be if I stayed in my current position, making a 2% increase? Or what if I went part-time for those last 2 years? How would that affect me? We can run those estimates for you. We have an eye for it. We work with it every day. And I might have John call in and say, Kim, I want you to run me an estimate. And I say, you know what, John, if you stick it out 6 more months, your pension could significantly increase. And he's like, oh, God, okay, I'm going to do it, okay. You might have the flip side. He calls in, says, I hit my rule of 88 in August. And I say, well, actually, John, you hit it April 1. And then I'm John's best friend because he gets to retire earlier. So if you've never gotten an estimate before, also what's really nice about the estimates is that it will list the 6 different options that you have to choose from. It will list the monthly benefit for those options, where your annual statement only runs you on an option 2, okay? With your retirement estimates, this is just a sample of what you would see when you get the estimate. And this section here on your estimate is just taking all of your information in order to calculate what the benefit is going to be. So if you look in that first column, you'll see that we assume John was going to leave employment in December of 2029, get his last paycheck in January, start benefits in January. It has his date of birth, his wife's date of birth. You'll see in this first column, early retirement percentage, and you see where that shows 100%. That means John has met his rule, okay? It's in the first column, about 3/4 of the way down. If you get an estimate and you have anything other than 100% there, that means you have not met your rule. You have not met normal retirement age yet, and you would have an age reduction. Here you'll see John is technically 60 years old. He has 30.25 years of service, so he's met 88, so he does not have a reduction. With the 30.25 years of service, he's going to get 60.25% of the average of his highest 5 years of salary. And what we do is we take your last full calendar year of wages. We assume John was going to get a 2% increase in his wages each year, and that's where it's assuming out what those wages would end up being for those years and what the average would be. Okay? So just a little example of how to read that. But like I said, you really want to look at that early retirement percentage and make sure that that shows 100%. If not, you have not worked long enough yet, okay? You want to try to meet normal retirement age so you don't have an age reduction. Now, when you get ready to retire, there are going to be 6 different options to choose from. All of them are going to offer you a lifetime monthly benefit. But the difference in the monthly amounts are based on what you want to leave for a death benefit. So the more you want to leave for a death benefit, the lower your monthly benefit will be. It is very important. We generally tell people to get your applications 4 to 6 months prior to retirement. It is not because it's a hard application to fill out. It's because we want you to have plenty of time to really study over those options and make a sound decision. Once you choose an option and you draw that first monthly benefit, you're locked into that option for life. You can never come back and change it. So this is the most important piece when it comes to retiring from IPERS, is your option choice. Option number 1 is where you can assign a lump sum death benefit. You can assign in $1,000 increments up to what you have invested. For every $1,000 that you want to leave, your monthly benefit will be reduced $1 and some change, $2 and some change per 1,000 per month. So the more you want to leave for a death benefit, the more your monthly benefit will be reduced. Now on this option, you would draw the monthly benefit lifetime. When you die, whatever you have assigned for the death benefit, that is what we pay out to the beneficiaries. It does not increase nor decrease, but it is a death benefit. It is not life insurance, so it is taxable to the beneficiaries. Okay? Option number 2 is going to pay one of the higher monthly benefits because all it is doing is safeguarding your investment. So let's say you had $18,000 in the system. You start drawing that $1,607 per month. If you die before you get your investment back, then the difference would be paid to your beneficiaries. Generally, you're going to draw your investment out in the first 2 to 3 years. So after 2 to 3 years, there won't be anything left payable for a death benefit. That is why it is one of the higher paying options. But if a freak accident happened and you died in 6 months, then the remainder of your investment would be paid out to your beneficiaries. You notice this option 2, it says 1607 in the example. I want you to look at the next one, which is option 3. That one's 1608. It's only $1 more per month. But there is no death benefit. So what you're risking there is if you did die in the first 6 months, the rest of your money stays in IPERS because there is no death benefit. Okay? Generally, with your option 2 and 3, you're only going to see maybe $1 to $2 difference in those 2 options. So you have to weigh, is it worth gambling with your investment to get an extra $1 per month? Most people, if they want to take the highest monthly benefit, they take the option 2 because it at least safeguards your investment. Realistically, are you going to live longer than 2 to 3 years? Yes, more than likely you are. Have we seen people take an option 3 and die in the first few months? I had a case years ago. I had a case where she retired in April, started drawing her benefits in May, unexpectedly died June 5th. She drew 2 months of benefits and she took the option 3. Whereas if she would have just taken $1 less for the option 2, at least her investment would be paid out. So it's just up to you if you want to take that gamble. Option 5 is what we call our 10-year guarantee. Now this is where you're taking a little bit of a reduction in your pension because we are safeguarding it for 10 years. So what it's saying is you draw the monthly benefit lifetime. If you die before 10 years, then there will be a death benefit. If you live past 10 years, then there is no death benefit. Now, let's say you have your beneficiaries listed as your spouse, if living, otherwise 2 kids. Let's say you live 6 years and then you pass away, and it's now paid to one beneficiary, which would be your spouse. We would continue to pay that monthly benefit for the remaining 4 years, and then once it hit the 10-year mark, benefits would stop. Now let's say you and your spouse both get in a car accident and pass away, and it's paid out to multiple beneficiaries or an estate or trust. what we would do is we would take that 4-year amount, pay it out in a commuted lump sum, meaning we're reducing it a bit because we're paying it out in a lump sum and dividing it amongst the beneficiaries. Now, with options 1, 2, and 5, you can name beneficiary or beneficiaries, and you can change them as long as there is a death benefit to be paid. With option 3, there's no need to name a beneficiary because there is no death benefit. And options 4 and 6, these are where you name a contingent annuitant. You can only name one person, and you can never change it irregardless of death or divorce. Now, generally, this is where you name a spouse. You can take a reduction in your monthly pension, and you can either leave your spouse 100% of what you're drawing, or you can take a little bit higher of a monthly pension and leave them 75%, 50%, or 25%. So how it works on the option 4 is, let's take that 100% for a minute. This member would draw $14.93 per month. When they pass away, their CA would then draw $14.93 per month for the rest of their life. Now, if you name a child or a grandchild, because of the age difference, you would probably only be able to leave 50 or 25%. And it would change those amounts based on that CA's date of birth, okay? Under the option 4, if your CA dies first, you stay locked into this reduced amount. You draw that for the rest of your life, and then when you pass away, that's it, it's done. Now, when you get your estimate, you'll see that the option 6 is a little bit lower of a monthly benefit. It works the same way where you draw the monthly benefit. When you pass away, your CA would then draw that monthly benefit for the rest of their life. But this one has a provision that says if the CA dies first, rather than you being locked into that reduced option 6 amount, you would pop up to the higher option 2 amount, and you would then be under the option 2 provisions. So the option 6 has that pop-up provision. Generally, the only time I see people take an option 4 anymore is if maybe the member is 10, 15 years older than their spouse and they're convinced they're going to pass away first. Or if you came in and you knew you had a terminal illness, then you would sign up for a 4. Most people, if you're close in age, health is close, most people go with a 6 just because it has that pop-up provision, that safety net, okay? And again, if you've never gotten an estimate before, please give our office a call at the 1-800 number. You call me up and say, Kim, I want you to run an estimate for June of 2025, June 2026, June 2027. I run them while I got you on the line. They immediately print out, and they go out in next day's mail. You can also go into your online account and run your own estimates if you'd like to do that. And I'll go through that a little later too. Now, pre-retirement death benefits. Currently, you should have beneficiaries listed on your account. If you're not sure if that is updated and current, please check into that and make sure it's updated and current. If you have a sole beneficiary and you are a vested member, they would have their option of taking a lump sum payment or a monthly annuity if you were to die while you're in active status. If the designated beneficiary is more than one individual or it's an entity, then we can only pay it out in a lump sum. If no beneficiary is listed, we're going to pay it out to your estate. If no estate is open, we then pay it to heirs at law. So IPERS will determine who's the heir at law, pay it out to that person if there is no one listed. But if you haven't checked in a while, please make sure that your beneficiaries are updated. We had a case where there was a gentleman that, he started with his company when he was back in his 20s and had a girlfriend listed. In the meantime, got married, had kids, 30 years later, never changed the Benny form. So please, there are a lot of people that have really old Benny forms on there, and we want to make sure that you have the most recent listing of who is to be entitled to your money. In order to apply for retirement, you must be 55 or older, unless you have been deemed disabled through Social Security. You must submit a completed retirement application, and benefits are always paid on the last business day of the month. You must terminate all IPERS employment unless you are age 70. If you are, or you know a coworker that is going to be reaching age 70 and they plan on continuing to work, please, please, please contact IPERS and get signed up for your monthly benefits. If you continue to work past age 70 and you're not collecting your IPERS, you're just throwing money down the drain. And we have a lot of people that do it. We can't convince them to draw it, and you can't force them. Some people say, well, I don't want to draw it. It's going to knock me into a higher tax bracket. But ultimately, they're just throwing money away that they're never going to recoup, okay? So if you or you know someone that's reaching age 70, please have them give IPERS a call so we can counsel them. Returning to work, we have a lot of people that want to retire, start drawing their IPERS, and go back to employment. Now, if it is a non-IPERS employer, there are no restrictions. You can go back as soon as you want and make $1 million. We don't care. If it is an IPERS employer, you must meet your bona fide retirement. Now, to have a bona fide retirement, you have submitted a retirement application and IPERS approved it. You have left employment with all IPERS covered employers, including non-covered positions. With no written or verbal agreement to return, you start receiving your IPERS retirement benefit, and then you follow the time frame of when you can come back to work for an IPERS employer. Now, if you're coming back to a non-covered position, meaning they're not taking IPERS out of your check, you can come back after 1 month. If it is a covered position where they are taking IPERS out of your check, then you have to wait 4 months. If you are thinking about coaching or subbing or being a sub bus driver, please check with your HR to find out what their rules are. There are very, very few districts that as soon as you start working again, you're covered under IPERS in a sub or coaching or sub bus driving. Most districts now, say you have to earn $1,000 in 2 consecutive quarters, then that next quarter, they would start covering you under IPERS. We have some people that, let me get through this first. So let's say you started drawing IPERS benefits in January. Okay, January would be your countdown, and you want to collect 4 checks. So January, February, March, April. May 1, you can come back to a covered position. Okay? This is only if you start drawing your IPERS benefit. You might, let's say you're teaching and coaching and you want to stop teaching and just coach to get those quarters attained to get to your 88. You can do that as long as that coaching position is currently covered, okay? If it's not, you want to reevaluate quitting the full-time job. You must have a bona fide retirement. It is your responsibility to contact IPERS if you are returning to an IPERS covered position. We want to make sure that you're not coming back too soon, because if you do, your pension is going to stop and you're going to have to pay every penny back that IPERS paid you. We do not want that happening to you. So if you are thinking about coming back to an IPERS employer after retiring, give IPERS a quick call. We can go through those guidelines with you. Also know the Social Security earnings limit. You might start drawing your IPERS at 62 and you want to draw your Social Security, but you want to go back to work. Well, our limits are different than Social Security. Social Security reemployment earnings limit is a lot lower than IPERS. Contact us about any specific elected official or appointed position rules or questions. And if you do come back, you are limited to earning $50,000 per calendar year. And again, this is calendar year, not school year. $50,000 per calendar year until you reach age 65. Once you reach age 65, there is no wage limitation. Contact IPERS when you retire the second time. So let me give you an example. You retire under IPERS, you wait the 4 months, you go back to an IPERS employer, and you're paying into IPERS again. You kind of have 2 accounts going. So when you finally terminate this second position, or pension, whatever you want to call it, when you finally terminate, that's when you're going to contact IPERS. We are then going to take this second retirement account, calculate up your options on that, and send you paperwork letting you know what your options are. Most people, some are only limited to keeping their IPERS at the same amount and taking a lump sum payment on this reemployment account. There are some situations where they might be able to take this calculation of a retirement, add it onto their current retirement. But it all depends on how many years you have here, how many years you have here, how old you are here. So there's a lot of stipulations to determine how you would be paid out. Everyone is eligible to keep their monthly benefit the same and take a lump sum payment on this reemployment account. What's really nice about this is when you get a lump sum on this reemployment account, you're getting every penny you put in, every penny that the employer put in, and any interest it'd earn. So when you finally do take a lump sum of this reemployment account, you're getting more than double back than what you put in. So it's a nice little deal there. Okay. Taxes. On your IPERS, you do have to pay federal income taxes. As of January of 2023, you no longer have to pay taxes on your pension in Iowa. Every January, we will mail you a 1099-R for you to file on your taxes. Now, in your application, there will be a W-4 form, just like your W-4 that you fill out at work. You tell us your filing status, fill out some other information if it's needed. We withhold taxes based on how you tell us to withhold it. At any time you feel like you're having too much or not enough withheld, you can change your withholding form as often as you want, whenever you want. We do have strict rules with IPERS. If you call into an IPERS rep, please be patient with us. We have 4 points that we have to go through to make sure that we are talking to who we are talking to. It's just for your protection. I know it can get a bit cumbersome, but it is to safeguard your account. So know that anytime you call into IPERS, we can discuss your account with you, or you can log into your My Account online. If you do find any suspicious activity occurring, please give us a call. We get calls all the time saying, hey, I just got an email saying that something got changed on my account. Generally, it's probably their email or address that the employer reported to us, and that's okay. We would rather you be a lot safer than sorry. So give us a call with anything. If we change your account and you have an email, something on your account, and you have an email on file, you're going to get an email letting you know that something got changed on your IPERS account. We have a really great website, www.ipers.org. You can get a lot of good information out of there. One of the specific points I want to show you is My Account Login. Now, we are going digital delivery. You are no longer going to be getting annual statements in the mail. We are going digital. We need to make sure that your email is set up in our system. We need you to give us a call and set up your personal email and your cell phone number on your account. Once that is set up on the IPERS account, then you'll be able to access your online account. Now, if you've never done it before, you might want to give us a call and just verify that that is set up. But if you know that your email and cell phone is set up, you could go into My Account. If it's your first time logging in, you would click on Forgot Username. Follow the directions and they'll send you your username. You then click on Reset Password. Follow the directions and they'll send you your password. And then you can get into your online account. Now, some of the features of your online account is you can check or change your beneficiaries. You can run your own pension estimate. You can run a service purchase estimate, and you can set up one-on-one sessions. Now, we really aren't traveling much. It's probably going to come down, winding down on our traveling. So we definitely don't get out to the big cities anymore. If you want an appointment with IPERS, you can call us or you can set up a one-on-one session on your online account. You can set up either a phone counseling session where we would send you out your information in the mail, call you at your designated time and go through your information with you over the phone. Those appointments are available as late as 5 p.m. So with you guys living so far away and with you being teachers, it might be the best way to schedule your one-on-one. You can also schedule a in-person meeting at IPERS, but you would have to drive to the Des Moines office. Please keep in mind, we can do everything over the phone that we can do in person. Please do not feel like you have to drive all the way to IPERS to get your application or go through your information. We can do it all over the phone. Another good feature about the online account is that as you retire, you could go in there and change your direct deposit, change your withholding. If you're a snowbird down in Florida or Arizona and you need to get a copy of your 1099 and you're tired of waiting for it in the mail, you can go into your online account and print out your 1099. So it has a lot of good features. And like I said, if you've never set it up before, give IPERS a quick call. Make sure we got your information on file in order for you to access your online account. In order to contact us, you can email us at info@ipers.org, or you can call us at our 1-800 number, which is 1-800-622-3849. When you call into our office, if you let's say we've already sent you out your information and you just have a few questions or you want to go through those options, please give us a call. That is what we are there for. We are an extra tool to help you along the way when you get ready to retire. Okay? Does anyone have any questions? Yeah. Yep, so you could ultimately, and we have, I know where you're going with that. Yeah, I know where you're going with that. So some people will say, I've hit my 20 years, but I'm only 60, so I can't draw it right now. But I can't do this again. I can't do it another year. I want to retire this year, not draw my IPERS, wait until 62 to draw it. When I have my 6220, yes, you can do that. And we can run estimates either way. We could run it if you work to 62. We could run it if you quit at 60, waited to 62 to draw it, and then you quit at 60 and draw it with age reduction. We can send all those numbers out to you in the mail. So yes, that is, I get that question a lot. It goes with 88 also.
So does that work the same? Like if I hit my rule of 88 at 61 and I stop working, and I don't want to take money until I'm 65?
Then you're throwing money away. If you've attained your rule and you quit working, your pension will not increase because you've met your rule and you're no longer increasing your high five, you're no longer increasing your years of service.
So if you hit these rules,
I'm not saying, if you still work, it will go up. If you hit your rule and you plan on working, yes, it will increase if you keep working because you're adding to your years of service and you're probably changing your high five average. If you hit your rule and then you quit and you're not going to go back to work, it will not increase by waiting. You draw it at that time. Yeah. We get that too.
So what if you hit your rule and you just go part-time? So you're not increasing that 5 years?
You're not increasing the high 5, but you are increasing your quarters of service, so it will still go up. It probably won't go up quite as much, but it will go up. And we have a lot of people that will max out. They've got over 35 years, but they're only 58 years old. And they say, yeah, it's great, I'm maxed out, I'm not, I'm only increasing my benefit a little bit, but I have health care to pay for and I can't afford the health care. So we find that a lot.
I've been reading my statements, and it says, if I retire at 55, I get this much per month. 62 is this much, 65 is this much, 70 is this much.
Right.
So if I quit, if I hit my rule of 88 at 61, and quit, and don't work for the next 4 years,
It won't go up.
that amount that I get at 65 is going to go down.
Your amount will never go down. You can't lose what you've earned. But if you meet your rule and you quit working for IPERS, so you're not adding to your years of service, you're not adding to your high 5 average, you just quit, you've already met normal retirement age. Whereas Social Security, you're looking at, oh, well, if I wait till Social Security, it's going up every year. With IPERS, if you meet your rule and you quit your job and you're no longer working for an IPERS employer, it will not increase because you're not doing anything to increase it. You've already met that normal retirement age.
Those numbers of 55, 62, 65.
Is assuming that you work till
I
that.
work to that time.
Right, with a 3.25% wage increase every single year. Yep. Yep. Good question. Good questions. Any others? All right, guys, well, you have a great evening, and I hope you took away some information. If you have any questions, just give our office a call.